So today, this is the conversation I want us to address. People have asked me to help them understand how much money it will cost them exactly if they decide to buy a car on loan today. Most of the cars that I speak about, the most affordable cars right now that will offer you a certain level of reliability, a certain level of comfort, and then a certain level of affordability will range between 800,000 and 1.3 million Kenya shillings. So today I will work with a figure of 1 million. So most cars that are affordable will go for that amount. If you want to buy a Nissan Note, if you want to go for Toyota Vitz, Toyota Passo, Demio, Mazda Demio, Honda Fit, those cars will be plus or minus a few amount on top of 1 million. So 1 million is my example figure. So let us assume today that you walk into a bank and you tell them that you have identified a car, a Long Gong Road that you want to buy. And let's take maybe Toyota Vitz, for example. That is the car you want. And that car is going for 1 million. So the bank will tell you to deposit 40% of the value of that car. 40% of 1 million is 400,000. So I want us to go step by step so that you don't get lost. The bank will finance you the rest, 60%, which is 600,000. Sorry, I forgot. It's 600,000. Okay? So the bank will pay 600,000 to the car dealer and your car will be released. Nowadays, or today, the bank rates or the interest rate at the bank today is around 17 to 20%, depending on the bank where you visit. So allow me to work with the 19% because that is the average or the most probable interest rate that you will get. So, and this is per annum. So meaning that your interest on 600,000 that is financed by the bank will be 114,000 per year. So this is the amount that you will pay in interest. And this will depend on how many years you will use to repay. So if you use 6 months, you will pay half the amount. If you pay in 3 years, you will pay this amount times 3. And I will show you a scenario whereby you will pay in 3 years. So for a moment, forget about this column because it will show you the numbers if you pay in 3 years, while this other one is a typical example where you pay in 1 year. So cost of loan. So the bank will not just give you the 600,000 like that. There are people who will process this loan. This loan will require what we call loan insurance, and all those things will form what we call the cost of loan. So it will attract another 30 to 50,000 for you to get this money. Either it will be an amount that you will pay back to the bank, or they will subtract it when they are giving you the loan. So either they will give you 650,000, so they will subtract the cost of loan upfront, but others will include this in the amount that you need to pay later in installments. Okay, so the total amount that you will need to pay back to the bank is 764,000 at the end of 1 year. So that is the money that you need to pay to the bank. So it is the total financing that they gave you, the total interest, and the total cost of loan. So the cost of application and the loan insurance. So there are nitty-gritties that most banks will not discuss these things in details with you. But when you are buying a car on loan, there are things that you have to do for the bank to accept to finance you. And this is what I have called the extras. When you buy a car on loan financed by the bank, that car must be under comprehensive insurance. You cannot pay a third-party insurance cover for a car that is financed by the bank. They will require that you insure with a comprehensive plan so that in case of the accident, the bank will get their car paid back. but this will be a cost on your own. The bank will not contribute. In as much as that car is co-owned by you and the bank, you are the one who pays the cost of insurance. So a car that is valued at around 1 million Kenya shillings, its cost of the cost of insuring it on a comprehensive plan will be around 40 to 60,000. So plus you need to install a car tracker from recommended, partners with the bank, and then other security measures that the bank may recommend. So they might require that you install 2 trackers, you install the car alarms, the cutouts, all the security measures to ensure that that car is not at risk of getting stolen. So that will cost you an additional 80,000 on your budget. So at the end of the first 1 year, if you repay that car within 1 year, you will have spent 1.2 million 44,000 on top. So 1,244,000, meaning that it is your deposit, because that is still money, plus what the bank financed you, plus the interest, plus the cost of loan, plus the extras, because these things are mandatory. So you are also going to incur this cost. So it will cost you 1.244 million Kenya shillings. So how much on top if you are to buy cash? Just in 1 year, you will lose 244,000 because of buying that car on loan. If you had bought it cash, you would have saved 244,000. Let us now get into a scenario where you will see the true cost of buying a car on loan. If you will pay it in 3 years, okay, so some of these things will remain constant, like the cost of loan will remain constant, the interest per annum will remain constant, the amount you repay remain constant, but depending on how many years you take to pay, it will multiply with a factor of 3. So your interest will be times 3, which will give you 343,000. So here it will still remain 600,000. Okay, so here you will still have 50,000, and then here it will still be 80,000. So here the total amount that you will need to repay at the end of 3 years, is 992,000. Okay, but remember here you have not added your 400,000 deposit. So the cost of the bank lending you 600,000 will attract another 392,000 on top. So if you do the whole of this mathematics, after the end of 3 years, you pay that car on loan, you will have spent 1,472,000. Okay, but remember, if you are to pay it in cash, you would save 472,000. So buying a car that is worth 1 million and you repay it in 3 years, it will attract an interest of almost 500,000. If you pay in 1 year, it will attract a cost of 244,000. And I think we should also do a scenario for 2 years, whereby it will just be this plus this. So you will have 358. So this is a scenario for 3, for 2, for 1, and for 3. So that is how much it costs you to buy a car on loan. So you can do your math. So this is where I call you to be active in your mind. How much money is it costing you? 244,000 in 1 year, 358 in 2 years, 472 in 3 years. This is where you can take a decision to delay your car buying plan. You say, instead of paying this interest in 1 year, can I continue my savings for another 2 years so that the deposit you make with the bank will be maybe 80,000, and then the bank will just lend you 20,000. Okay, so if you delay your buying car, your plan to buy a car with 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, it means that the money you are saving towards your deposit will go up, so that the money that you will have to borrow will be less. So if the bank will just lend you 20%, so that will be like only 200k. Okay, 200k, it will attract very, very small interest. First of all, even if you pay it in another 2-3 years, it will still not attract as much interest as this, or total cost as this. Okay, it will cost you very, very little money. So that is where I tell people, if you delay buying your car for 3 years, you will actually save a lot of money, because it will not cost you a lot on interest. And you will hear some people saying that they will repay their car back in 4 years, 5 years. My friend, you might end up paying another 1 million on top. And this is a car worth just 1 million. Imagine if you are buying a car worth like 4 million. If here we put 4 million, the numbers you are seeing here, you wouldn't love to see the outcome. It's expensive. And that's why you hear every year that banks are the most profitable institutions. It is because of this. Imagine in just 1 year, this is the cost that you get out, that gets out of your pocket. So do your maths right, know when to take things immediately, know what to delay, so that you don't end up spending so much money for nothing. Thank you, and see you in my next video.